Do you regret this transaction? Yeah. Do you regret what happened?
Yeah, I regret what I've done to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about everybody, not just myself. You know what I mean? Like, I do apologize, but I don't owe her 140 for the phone.
Have you said that to her, that you apologize?
Yeah.
Has he apologized to you?
No, he hasn't.
Do you feel like this is a relationship that can be repaired?
I sure hope so. It's breaking my heart to have this between us. I want things to go back to the way that they were and be able to hang out with him and laugh and, you know, and it's just not that way anymore because I don't feel that I can trust him anymore. And it really hurts.
Mr. Nelson, do you feel like this relationship is one that can be repaired?
Of course. Yeah. I feel like time was everything.
I have what I need.
Anybody have anything else? We'll excuse you and we'll deliberate on this matter. I think the heart of this case has nothing really to do with the phone. The phone is symbolic of a relationship that has been strained by the behavior of the defendant. He understood that he had no right to take that phone out of the house. And as far as I'm concerned, he owes her the full $900. I don't really think there's any...
I agree with regards to the phone. I don't believe that he's paid her more than $20, as the plaintiff testified to. As far as the emotional distress, I asked Ms. Gaffke if this was the worst thing he's done, because it seems like he's been a problem child.
Right.
You know, in and out of jail. He's had an ankle monitor. I think that her wanting a contract, setting out these terms for her brother is because she realizes what he's capable of. I do not think that this is something that warrants emotional distress because I believe that the plaintiff has had issues prior to this phone incident. This added to it, but I don't necessarily think that...
Well, that's why I said you take your victims as you find them. That's an established principle in the law of torts.
This is a breach of contract case at the end of the day. And I believe that he breached the contract by not paying her the full amount. But if siblings could come into court and recover money for treating each other poorly, for breaking each other's trust, we would be sitting on this bench 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we still would
not minimize. I'm an only child. But I'm not minimizing what she's feeling.
This is not just the typical case that we see where brothers suing sisters. Here is a woman that submitted medical records. She was diagnosed and prescribed significant medications for what was going on. And I would agree with you, in most typical cases, emotional distress, we all suffer emotional distress when somebody's breached our trust. But I think this goes beyond it, significantly beyond it. I would give her every penny she wanted.
I understand your point about taking the plaintiff as you find her, but this is just not simply, to me, a case where the behavior of the defendant was the type of extreme and outrageous behavior you need to satisfy a claim for emotional distress.
Which is what I think he was trying to say, and not in the best way, but he said, this is over a phone.
You don't think what he did was outrageous?
This particular thing, I do not.
I don't. I've seen worse.
I do not.
And not to compare.
I'm in shock.
But he said it. This is over a phone.
At the end of the day, take away the personal, take away the emotional. He, at most, breached an oral agreement to keep property that he had purchased in a particular location. There is clearly a troubled relationship.
So are you saying that the doctrine of you take your victim as you find it doesn't apply here?
No. What I'm saying is, in order to have a claim for emotional distress in California, you have to have outrageous behavior. You can't sort of just flow from the breach of contract.
Did you agree that he breached the contract?
Yes.
By not making the payments, of course.
Right.
Yeah, I believe.
He breached the contract.
But that wasn't in the written agreement.
And you're saying that even though I would imagine you don't deny that she's suffering from significant mental health issues.
I agree.
And that this exacerbated to some degree.
Yes.
It did.
It did.
But you're saying that she's not entitled to compensation for that exacerbation?
No. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Listen, if he were to
we have a dissent.
If he were to have stolen money, for example, from mom, and I believe sister was living with mom, and they couldn't pay rent, and they were facing eviction, that to me is egregious. That to me is outrageous.
Because it's theft.
But a phone, and I think again, he didn't say it in the best way. But he really was saying, like, this is over a phone. Sorry.
I got your point.
So
those are your points.
I
don't agree.
Dissent. Yeah, that's okay.
And I will do my best to express it in a way that doesn't exacerbate the plaintiff's situation even more.